Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Well, I'm in Crosby near Liverpool because, and I've wanted to shoot this for a while, you've got the Another Place modern sculpture thing that's here, which was by Antony Gormley. Is it Gormley? Gorman? Something like that. If you Google it, you'll be able to see. And basically, he's put all these like crazy statues everywhere, and the tide's on its way in, so they're going to make an absolutely magnificent foreground for a long exposure minimalist shot, and that's what I need to take. Look at this little fella here. How good is that? You've also got like a pier, was you round? Not a pier, but like some sort of like structure there, which also might look pretty good on a long exposure. Only problem is it's a Sunday and it's busy, so we'll have to see what we can do. Clouds look absolutely amazing as well, so I'm looking forward to this one. I'll be brutally honest. You might be saying, well, why are you coming down with the Z8, which is notorious for hot pixels and the bitching on that I've been doing about that camera for the last 18 months. And I'll be honest, I was at the brink of almost getting rid of it completely and taking a backward step and buying a D850. That's how bad it got. But I thought I'm going to give it one more go to try and search to see if I can find the problem with this camera, because I can't believe that Nikon's flagship camera is worse than a D810, which is what I came from to buy it. And lo and behold, I've actually found the solution, which you can do yourself, and I'll show you that later in the video in case you've got one and you've got the same issues that I had. I'll also show you the problems on a black screen, like with the black frame, so you can see exactly the problem that I'm talking about, because images were unusable, absolutely unusable. So anyway, enough rambling, bit of B-roll, and got to wait for this tide to come in. It's going to be about probably another hour and a half, 2 hours. But once it's in, not quite sure how far up it's going to come, but it is a big tide. But the thing is, these statues are all over this beach, everywhere, all the way along it. So there's no reason as to why at least one of them won't be submerged and let me get the shot. But anyway, enough rambling, onwards and upwards. Have a look at this B-roll. Well, I'm not going to lie, it is a bit dicey on an incoming tide. It moves really quick, really quick. So I've got the first shot lined up. I'm rattling a 2-minute exposure off with the 15-stop filter, but I'm going to have to move back. I'm probably the furthest out now. RNLI are all over the place as well, so there's obviously people getting cut off in this location. So what I'm going to do, rattle this shot. If it's any good, I'll put it up for you. And I'll move compositions, I'll flick you up on the next one. So I'm not sure if that one came out because the tide just caught the bottom of the tripod as it was finishing. So if you haven't seen the image, it's because it didn't come out. So I've had to move right back now and zoom right into 120mm, which is where this lens, the 24-120 lens, is absolutely brilliant. So come back, clouds look amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'll show you this composition now. So as you can see, it's very minimalist. Everything in the background, all these sort of like windmills and buoys and stuff like that, buoys, whatever they're called. Take them all out in Photoshop and then blend the horizon. But you can see I just need to give it probably about 3-4 minutes just to let the water fill in this gap in here. Which, I mean, I'm shooting now 120mm, which is the beauty of this 24-120. You can get further back, but it is a bit of a dangerous old places, I think. The RNLI are out over there. Probably you do get cut off. So I'm going to constantly keep looking behind you to make sure this isn't like a sandbank that I'm going to get stuck on, which actually it looks like it is. I'm not the furthest out, but it's not to say they're not going to get cut off as well. So I'm going to rattle this off with a 15 stop, and then from there we'll see what the image looks like. Yep, and well, just got cut off. So I'm now had to go up to my knees in water to get out of this sandbank, which is this one here. This is so dangerous. Comes in so quick. Luckily, I kept an eye behind and I could see that where I thought was my exit was going to be clear. But when you get there, it's like quicksand. So I cut that off. So the only two options I had was to either run down to that end of the beach, which I wasn't sure how fast it was coming in from that side, or wade across this bit that I'd walked across before. So I opted to walk across the bit I'd walked before, but unfortunately by the time I got there it was like knee deep. So needless to say, I've got wet feet now, but not to worry, at least I'm still alive. Proper dangerous. So fast. I knew it was coming in quick when I was taking them shots, because you could see I was like a good 25 metres from the subject, tied nowhere near the camera tripod. Then by the time it took its 2.5 minute exposure, 2-minute exposure, it's lapping at the feet. Yeah, got to be really careful here on an incoming tide. I'd recommend if you're coming down here, shoot it on an outgoing. At least you know where you're at then. And there are these statues, as you can see, like there. You can still shoot them at high tide. There's another one down there that I was at before, and I don't know how high the tide's going to come up this way, but certainly a dangerous old place. Anyway, we're all right. Onwards and upwards. Let's find the next comp. I've just had a little chat with the guys from the RNLI just to make sure that I'm not stood on another sandbank. And luckily we're not, so that's good. He said it'll just keep pushing you back, it won't actually cut you off from behind, which is good. So I've now lined a shot up with our friend, and also this sort of like tower thing, which I think looks quite good. I know they always say you should never ever put two subjects, or it should always be an odd number and all that, right? Well, I'm breaking the rules here because I think this composition actually looks quite nice. So I'm going to show you the composition now and see what you think. So I mean, look at those clouds, absolutely awesome. So you've got our mate here looking at that there. Try to line them up so that they're in the middle. I put the horizon on the bottom third, and although it's actually saying that it's square in camera, I'm not convinced that it actually is. It might move, so I might have to just square that up in Photoshop. But what a place! What a place this is! And that tide now is almost around our little friend's feet here, and that'll be even better because it'll look like he's standing on the water, which is incredible. So I'm going to have to move back in a minute because it's moving up even further. There's a big tide today. I think it's about nearly 8 metres, so this is probably one of the biggest they get here. I looked online and it's about 8.6, I think it's been earlier in the week. So I wanted to make sure when I came, because it's a bit of a drive, that it definitely covers these statues, but I didn't realise that there's so many of them that I don't think it'd really matter what sort of tide size you got. I think you'd definitely get one of these statues that would be underwater. Don't know what they stand for though. It's all a bit crazy really. Anyway, if this shot was any good, here's the shot. Well, this is just what you don't want. Blazing sun's come out now, look at this. Lighten the whole thing up. Halfway through a long exposure. So this one could be overexposed. There was one before that was overexposed, which I won't show you. And there was also one where, you know, when I thought that tide had come in and caught the tripod, it did, and he's like a ghosting on the little fella there. But I've lined up another comp now. I've gone down really low on this one because what I want to try and do is pop him right above the horizon. And I've got that, I love that little tower as well. I just think it balances the frame so nicely. And I know you shouldn't use twos, but sometimes you've got to take what's there, haven't you? And I think it's nice. And if I don't like it, I can always Photoshop it out afterwards. But yeah, that sandbank's gone completely now. It's all gone. Beach is quieting down. It's just an absolutely unbelievable place for photography, this. If you get the chance and you like this style and type of photography, I don't think there's many places that'll beat it. Absolutely awesome. Anyway, have a look at this comp. So, as you can see, it's quite minimalistic. I've lowered the camera right down. I can go lower than that if I want to, but I want to try and keep it at that. And what I've tried to do is I've zoomed in enough now so that if you look up there, you've actually got a break in the cloud, which doesn't look nice. So I've zoomed in to effectively take out that break there. And you can almost see that in black and white now, even though that's a colour image. You can almost see how that's going to look in black and white, which just looks absolutely awesome. Beautiful. I love it. Anyway, here's the shot. Well, I said at the beginning of this video that, and I think it's well known on this channel, that I have not been in love, shall we say, with the Z8 and its ability to take long exposures because of all the hot pixels that you seem to always get. And I talked to loads of people and they weren't experiencing anything like what I was getting. Those frames that I showed earlier, I think, or I'll show you them again now, the black frames, shows you exactly the sort of number of pixels. Now you're going to get some hot pixels when you do long exposure, it's a given, I get that, I understand all that. And you go through it and you take out the various ones that you can see so that when you print it out big it doesn't show up, blah blah blah, I get all that. But there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things. A lot of the long exposure shots that I've shown in previous videos, I was literally taking 2 hours to go through this and take them all out. Which I thought for a premium camera, which this Z8 is, you know, and I understand that a lot of people won't shoot with this camera because it's so expensive. And I am really lucky that I've got one, but I would expect it to be able to handle long exposures better than my old D810, and it couldn't. So I've searched and searched and searched on YouTube, and I've always searched for how do you remove hot pixels from long exposure images, and all you always get is, oh, you put it in Lightroom and you denoise and you put the denoise in and then go back in and try and resharpen it and all the rest of it. Well, I don't want to do that, right, because I've spent a lot of money on this camera and I don't think I should have to make my images less sharp to get rid of hot pixels. That's just my personal view. So, searching and searching, couldn't find anything. Then you find out people that are saying, oh yeah, you need to use long exposure noise reduction. Well, no, I don't, because I don't want to sit there for four minutes to take a 2-minute exposure while it takes one normal frame and then takes a black frame for the same thing and then tries to work out which pixels are hot and all the rest of it. Anyway, long story short, I found a guy on YouTube that talked about this thing in the Z8, and it's called pixel mapping, and it's a game changer, because I think that this must have been some sort of common fault with the Z8, and this is why this was built into it. So I'm going to show you now how you get into this thing and what you have to do. Now I'm not going to run it because I've already run it on my camera, and I'm not sure, it does seem to say you don't do it loads and loads of times, and I don't know why, but I've done it and the images are far cleaner since I have. So anyway, this is how you do it. I'll flick you around. So you're on the main screen or whatever screen you're on. All you've got to do, got to go into menu. It's in the settings menu here, and it's pixel mapping. So if you move across, click start, and it will do it. And it takes about, on mine it took about 4 or 5 minutes, and it was doing all its jiggery pokery and all the rest of it. And it was like it had waved Harry Potter's magic wand over it. Just absolutely unbelievable. The difference is incredible. So now I've still got 1 or 2, still got a few hot pixels that are coming through, but they're manageable. I can live with that. I got them on the D810. So absolutely magnifique. Thank you very much. I thanked this guy, but I can't remember what his name was. But that's how you do it anyway. That's how you can fix it if you've got a Z8. Now I would imagine it's probably the same on Z6s, Z6 IIIs, Z8, Z9, etc, etc, all the sort of mirrorless, top of the range mirrorless cameras that they do. But yeah, pixel mapping. Don't ask me how it does it, because I don't know. All I know is you press that start button and the magic happens. But yeah, game changer. So I'm just waiting for the next victim. Tell you what, I don't know what the significance of these statues are, but what a crazy, crazy piece of modern art this really is. It's absolutely insane. Have a look at this, he's not far off. There he is. There we go. I'm hoping with this one I can wait. Tide needs to come into about here, which is coming in quite quick. And you've got that there, which obviously you can decide whether or not keep it in, take it out, etc. The only thing is this cloud's broken up here, and I'm hoping it's going to blow in and do something there. So the comp that I've gone for, I don't know if you can see that, is gone for a lot of sky. You probably can't see it. A lot of sky. So it's something like that, although it's wider. So see if I'll do it there. See if I, so it's something a bit like that, maybe halfway between. But yeah, absolutely unbelievable this place. Bet it's cracking at sunset as well. The sun will set that way, west facing. But massive ship coming out of here as well. Hope that doesn't get in there before that tide comes in. Absolutely brilliant. Right, sit around for about 25 minutes I reckon, wait for this tide to come up and lap his feet properly. And I'll flick you back on when we're ready to go. So the tide is now well and truly lapping round his ankles, but there is a problem. Have a look at this. That boat there is moving into shot, and he is there. So this could cause a significant issue. I think I'm going to be alright, just because I've not got that. I think I've got that in the shot. If I have, it'll only just. But I can't wait for that to pass through because the tide will be too high. So I'll show you this little comp. Oh no, he has got the boat. The boat is there. I have rattled a few of these off before I flicked you on, but I might have to just remove that in Photoshop. What a shame. What a shame. Just take that again. Well, we are next to a dock. I suppose you can't do anything about it, can you? Wasn't expecting a massive super tanker though to be leaving there this afternoon. But I suppose it's with the tide being so high you can get out. Not to worry. Onwards and upwards. So I moved a little bit further down now and picked another little fella to take a photograph of. Tell you what, not adding the modesty to these guys. So it's that water's pretty cold as well. Moved a little bit further, he's up to his waist, this fella, so I'll show you this comp. So you can see, look at him there, he's proud as punch. Now obviously I've got these windmills in here. Now I'm not sure if they add to it or take from it, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to whip that off quickly. Just take this off, because I want to take a quick frame with just the f/16, just quickly whip that down to a reasonable second. You can see it's quite bright here, so I'm shooting a 40th of a second, zooming on him, quick shot of that, because now I've got that sky in case I want to use that in a bit. And we just whack this whack the 15 stop on one-handed. There we go, nice and easy. And then go again. Oh hang on, that's only 40th of a second, hang on. So we need to just keep it in f/16 and just whack that up to about, we'll go on 90 seconds with the 15 stop. I put a soft grad in because the sky was just getting too aggressive, shall we say. But it's filled in again now over the subject, which is brilliant. Exactly what you want. Some weird clouds here, look at this. These two crazy fellas here. Bit mental. As long as they don't move over it, we'll be alright. But there's enough definition in the cloud to keep it interesting, which is what you want. You don't want just blanket grey sky, which is... I was going to come and shoot this video yesterday, and the sky was crap. Just no good at all. So there's another subject here, look. See him there? It's not going to be long before that. He's at his feet. And that's the beauty, you can just keep walking back, and there's different... These statues are everywhere, just keep taking the odd one, and away you go. But yeah, this comp was any good. Here's the shot. Well, that's it. What absolutely be absolutely belting this sunset. Sun going down over there. Catching little fellas. Absolutely unbelievable. You've got like colour in the sky. It'd be a real image this. A real image. So I think I might have to come back. One thing I'd say about it is that you don't necessarily need to come at a really, really high tide, because these little fellas are all over the place. So you probably pick them up at a lower tide as well. It might be better as well because you won't get caught on that sandbank like I did. Don't forget, if you like the content, give us a like, give us a subscribe, we'll find your way back here, and I'll see you on the next one. Wow.